and descend the correct type of challenge. Take it easy 1. Remember, it's blitz with increment, unrated. We'll play a Mengarini. I got a whole playlist of this opening on the channel. Absolutely love it. And actually, in the video that's going to be releasing tomorrow, we had a Vienna, which turned into a modern defense, which turned into an A3 Sicilian. So I kind of got to use ideas from all of those openings and like wrap them into one. And we got a very nice game. So you'll see that tomorrow, because obviously I record a bit ahead of time. So, okay, A6. Whenever you see A6 or E6 in this Sicilian, this type of Sicilian, of course, D5 and B5 are the ideas to hit the bishop, so I just whack the bishop on A2 whenever I see either of these moves. Good rule of thumb, and the bishop on A2 is just very, very good. Okay, yeah. Let's go D3. I assume H4, H5 is also very good at some point. It normally is. Bishop. I've never seen this double fianchetto setup so early. Maybe F5 is the idea. Because, of course, like, if I take, then you can take. But I can just not take. Like, if F5, I can just not take. And then this diagonal is pretty weak. So, let's start with H4. I'm expecting knight F6. Because then, if H5, then, of course, the knight can take. And you don't really want to be sacking a rook like this. That's incredibly unsound. Some people will still do it, but it's not the best idea. Okay, H6. Let's go H5 anyway. And here, the entire point is F4. It's a little bit unique to this sort of setup, because normally there's a knight on F3, and of course you can't play F4 then. But here, it's pretty damn nice. I really like these lines. So yeah, hopefully this is a very entertaining looking opening. I mean, obviously my opponent's got the nice bishops. I also have a nice bishop. I have a stronger center, definitely, although he does have very good control over D4. But I'm not really fighting for D4 right now. I'm focused more so on getting towards the king side. And you could see how H6 could be weak in some of these positions. I maybe have Queen G4 in some lines going after this bishop, which, to be honest, looks incredibly nice immediately. Could also lift the rook. Now I can also put my knight on F3 because I don't have to worry about not being able to move the F pawn because I've already done it. Are you going to do this with rapid anytime soon? See, I have considered that. I actually considered that before going live. But then I was like, well, I can only play a very small amount of people if I do that. And I know that a lot of people want to watch or watch the live because they want to play with me, right? Like, I understand that. Also, I think that this is very, very nice for us now after Queen to G7. And you can see just how strong our bishop is on the A2 square. And normally you would meet this kind of invasion with Rook to G8, supported by the knight hitting the G2 pawn. But obviously you can't, because I have two different mates on F7. So to save the rook and defend mate, to be fair, actually... Oh no, you can't do Rook H7, because I have Bishop F7 mate. So you have to go Rook to H8. Sorry, F8. Happy chess. Good morning. Impressed you can play so well, talk at the same time. I have definitely been developing that skill through doing lots of YouTube. It is difficult, though. It is very difficult. It's not an easy skill at all. And yeah, here, I mean, I actually said this H6 pawn could become weak quite a few moves ago. And yeah, this is why I love the A3 Sicilian, because even if your opponent plays the best line with G6 on move 2, it can become very, very difficult. He resigns. Good game. Well played. And yeah, don't dismiss the A3 Sicilian. It's not just a silly sort of offbeat, terrible line. It's pretty good. Okay, all the challenges coming in. Hi to everybody joining. Hope you're doing well. You are 2200. Yesterday you had a 15-game win streak. Press record and 3 losses in a row. That's just how it goes, mate. That is just how it goes. Okay, let's play another strong player, Avatar TL. Of course, we can pre-move C6 because C6 versus literally everything. That's how I play. Please don't abort the game. That would be really sad. Be really, really sad. Don't do that. Come on. Oh, just in time. Okay, we have a Caro. And yeah, he seems pretty booked up just based on how fast he's playing. F4. I think knight h6 is the line. The point being that f4, of course, supports e5, but it blocks the bishop's access to h6. And I don't want to commit my bishop to f5 too early, because if the knight comes to f3, I'd like to have this pin, because the bishop can help fight for the dark squares by pinning the knight to the queen, even though it's a light-squared bishop, right? I want to say knight to f5 should be the move, hitting the bishop. Yeah, okay. Now what? Now what? Well, e6 looks very normal, so let's play it. Opening this up. I think maybe, yeah, I know I do have this, because if queen here, c3, take b4, forking my pieces, I can take on f2 with check, and then get my queen out of the way. Roshan? Your rating's been fluctuating a lot. Been 2100 and 1900 on the same day. Any advice? Any advice? I mean, if you think that you're playing badly, then just stop playing for a bit. I think it's kind of that simple, to be honest. You know when you're playing well. You know when you feel like in the mood to play chess, right? And when you're not feeling that, just don't play. Just don't play. Take a break. Okay. c3. Now we don't have this because this is, of course, blocked. And if queen here, then just b4. And this is well supported, and our queen is under attack. So a5 is probably the logical continuation. Just stopping the move b4, right? That is very typical of this opening. I don't really see a reason not to play it. If h3, then we'll take the knight. But while my opponent doesn't make us take the knight, we'll just leave it for the time being. He may play a move like knight bd2, just supporting this knight. So if I do take, he can take back with the knight rather than the queen, which might be useful, right? But yeah, clamping down on b4 is probably quite useful. It does, however, take away the a5 square from my queen, but then again, if my queen ever goes to a5, then just b4, and I'm in a bit of trouble, so I don't really want to do that anyway. Oh, that's interesting. Knight a3, trying to come in like this. That's a move. That's a move. How can I deal with that? Is d4 a move? That's what I want to play. Point being, the knight is pinned. If d4 take... it doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. Yeah, how do I stop this? I've never seen this idea before. Never seen this idea before. It's a cool idea, though. Oh, you know what I'll do? You know what I'll do? Is I'm just going to go bishop to e7, and I'm just going to get castled. Because I can't really see a good way to stop this, so I'm just not even going to try. I'm not even going to try. I just sent him an unrated challenge, right? Wolf, that is correct. Tweat Krishna, hi, how's it going, mate? Hope you're doing well. Everyone who is joining the stream right now, how's it going? Say hi in the chat. Let's see who's here, who's active. Yeah, and then knight b5, I'm just going to castle. I don't think I can stop the knight from coming into d6, which is a really cool idea from my opponent. But yeah, at least it doesn't come with check, right? And that's what I'm thinking. Difficult to deal with. Really difficult to deal with. Because normally, the bishop doesn't have the f2 square, so normally I have the option to take the bishop in these lines. I feel like I've gone wrong somewhere, but I can't figure out where. I feel like I should be playing f6. Because I don't... I can't figure out how I'm going to make more progress here. So to me, it makes more sense to try and blast the position open a bit. Hopefully get my rook on this nice open file. Obviously, I weaken my e6 pawn. But in the spirit of creating counterplay, it's just, you know, something I'm going to have to accept, right? I'm just going to have to accept, okay, e6 is a bit weak, but I get to generate some counterplay now. Yo, Minecraft the Donker, Carol Darcy, good day to you. Ludwig, good to see you, man. AK, how's it going? Tweat, I am 21 years old. And Victor, how's it going, mate? Good to see everyone in the chat. Okay, so I assume we just have to take here. I don't think we have any choice. If here, then here. That's okay. I think, yeah, that's okay. Here. I don't know. Maybe that's playable for white. That's a good move. I suppose I have to defend e6. Okay. What happens if I take then this? Nah, that's not playable. I'm going to have to defend. I'm a bit concerned about this. Yeah, and then, like, this. I don't like that at all. That is what concerns me. I don't know, maybe taking first is better. But then, like, he could take with the knight, but he could also just take with the pawn. And I don't really see how that works. I always used to struggle against these d takes e5 positions. Your videos helped a lot, thank you. Well, I don't think this is going to be helping you a lot, though, because I'm not having a good time. I'm really not having a good time. But on the bright side, both of us are very low on time right now. So I can, I can try to swindle a little bit. I think there's 2-second increment here. So, okay, brings the knight in. Let's just take it off the board. No, really? Okay. Let's pile on the pressure then. Yeah, this is... Oh, I did miss that in fairness, but I think it's fine. He can't take here because of this. So I expect him to castle. Yeah. I'm actually not going to take the pawn. I think it's better that I have a passed e-pawn, to be honest, and keep the position a little bit more closed. This, I was concerned about this. Right, okay. I have such little time here. This is not good. Not good. I completely missed that. Okay, trying not to lose on the spot. Nah, that doesn't work. I have knight g8. That's the swindle. Let's just sack that. Make things nice and easy. Oof, that was an incredible swindle. Yeah, I kind of was hoping... I almost just blundered my queen, by the way. I was hoping that he would fall for that. I was hoping he'd fall for that. Okay, that's great. Alright, I still have to convert this position, though. And it's not that easy. I'm just going to go nab some pawns for the time being. It seems like the most simple thing to do. And then try and force a queen trade somehow. Like this. There we go. And now once the queens come off the board, it's a relatively easy conversion. That was a really solid game. GG. GG. I think I'm going to have to start experimenting more with, in the opening, playing bishop f5 and then playing c5 in the future. I probably do have to experiment with this line a bit more, but things like the tile variation, I just get so concerned about. Like, there's, yeah, this is the tile. There's some lines where, I think it's like this, and something like take, and in some of them, white gets to go e6, but I think it's actually after h6, right? Yeah, this, and then e6. Okay, yeah. So as long as I just go h5, it should be all right. Okay, let me just catch up with the chat. Are you only accepting blitz challenges, or would bullet be okay? Can we keep it to blitz, please? I absolutely suck at bullet. It's not even funny. Have you always played the Caro? I mean, have you ever got bored of it? I used to play e4, e5. So as black, I would go, whoa. As black, I'd play e4, e5. And against the Roy Lopez, I'd just play all the main lines. Against the Italian, I would just play the main 2 knights defense. And I normally used to play them in like quite a quiet manner with like bishop e7 and castles. I just didn't find them that fun, to be honest. I found it very boring. I haven't really gotten bored of the Caro, to be honest. I've been playing it for like the past maybe 4 years? Maybe 3 or 4 years. Have you met the Apocalypse variation? Let's see what the Apocalypse variation is. E4, C6, Knight F3, D5, ED5, CD5, Knight to E5. I think I actually have seen this. I think I have. So after Knight C6, I assume D4 is the idea? I assume D4? And I guess taking this pawn is actually quite strong, so that's interesting. Stuck on 700 to 800 rapid. What's your advice? I actually recorded a coaching call I did with a client about a couple of weeks ago. You should be able to find that on my channel. A lot of the advice will probably be relevant to you. So, yeah. How can we play with you, bro? Just send me a challenge. Will, you are too kind. Thank you very much. My weekend has been really good, and in the UK, it's Bank Holiday Monday right now. So, yeah, I've just been working all weekend, which I enjoy anyway. And then been working today, and then I kind of just was like, well, I've actually ran out of work to do, so why not do a stream? What's my repertoire against 1d4? I play like the Slav defense, but I also play against d4, and my opponent goes for like the London. I like this queen b6, which I have dubbed the Centurion system. Okay, do I have any pets? Yes, I have a dog. Used to have a gecko and a budgie. Okay. All the challenges, well, there's loads of challenges. Okay. Let's jump into this. Ordnance Perth. Oh, I just realized there's no increment, so I'm going to have to play very quick. You're in London, so lazy day. I've never been a massive fan of London, to be honest, Will. Is there stuff I should be aware of as to, like, maybe I have a wrong perception of it? Okay, I love to play c5 in these Panov lines when there's an early e6. And basically, I just have to stop my opponent from playing the move e5. That's a big idea. b6, okay. Well, let's go b4. This pawn is really important. Really, really important. And then I think here I have to play knight to a4. That's the move. Because, of course, you can't play pawn a3 like you want, because if take, then you hang the rook. That's not how rooks move. But yeah, that's important. What do you do as a job, or is this full-time job? No, this is just something that I like to do in my spare time. It doesn't take me much time, to be honest. And I just really enjoy chess. I figured, well, I'm going to play chess for like hours a day anyway, so I might as well record it, you know? So, I am trying to fort the queen, by the way. Don't worry, I did see that. I'm going to be trying my best. Yeah, so after BC... Of course, we were threatening to take. So BC5, let's do this. And then we get the incredibly strong C-pawn. What is the secret of calculation? Visualization is a massive part of it. So can you see it in your head? Right? I have a very old video on the channel about visualization, which I would encourage you to check out, because that is such a massive part of chess that a lot of people overlook. So that'll be very useful, I'm sure. Vast and smoggy, lol, but some hidden gems. Great music scene, food's incredible, but also massively overpopulated. Yeah, I think that's my biggest issue with it, just because I come from a very rural area, like very countryside-y. Also, A123, that's a very good point. A lot of it is just not being lazy. And that's not an insult, that's not a criticism. It's easy to be lazy when you're doing calculation. You've just got to be really stringent on it, right? So good point, A123. But yeah, I mean, sorry, as I was saying, I come from like quite a rural village, so I'm not used to like the big crowds and that. I don't love it. I'm just finishing my university in Birmingham, so that's been a bit of a change as well. Just because that's obviously very overpopulated, but it's all right. Okay, knight h5, going after the bishop. I don't want to give the bishop away, because as I said, e5, I need to try and control that square. But, I mean, where do I move it? If I go to e3, that's very passive. I don't want it there. This diagonal is lovely. I'm also potentially preparing knight to b6 because I'm cutting off the b8 square sort of thing, and then maybe forcing the rook onto a bad square. But where do I put the bishop? If I go to e5, I'm offering it up for trade. To be honest, I think that's okay, though. I think that's okay, though. Viv, yes, we are streaming when you're online today. We are. Where am I from? Literally just countryside, England. Near the Welsh border. Yeah, I play over the board chess a lot. At least, well, recently I haven't been, but normally I play like once every 1 or 2 weeks. Competitively, that is. Spend 1 hour a night judging visualization. Definitely going to be improved. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking I get my knight here, and I can claim that this knight is misplaced. I can hop this knight in. I also have knight to c6 ideas. Yeah, I'm not too concerned about that. I can probably just do this. If I do this, is the bishop g5? Maybe? Maybe? That's interesting. Okay. Maybe just queen f3 then. Let's get this knight out of here. I assume he's going to go to g6. In which case, I'll probably do this. Or I could go for this, but after something like take and bishop f6, my rook gets kicked out. And then d4 is quite weak. So I should probably get rid of this bishop while I have the chance. Should probably get rid of it. Something like queen d7 takes, knight b6 would be a very nice fork. So, okay, yeah, let's take. I'm expecting knight takes because the knight isn't that great on g6. I think it should be helping to defend this. If I go here, can e5 be played? I don't think so. Something like takes and rook e1, queen c7. That looks very uncomfortable for black. That looks very uncomfortable for black. Okay. Alright, that's a move. How are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? How do we get this C pawn through? How do we do it? I don't know. I don't know. Is my knight misplaced? I'd love it on e5, but I mean, it's going to take way too long to get there, so I could go to b6, but what's it actually doing on b6? Not much. Not much. I'm going to play rook b3. I'm going to play... Yeah, this seems interesting. I don't know. Taking with the pawn doesn't really make sense. Let's do this. Let's do this. Just apply pressure here. I can go for this, but then I would lose my queen. So that wouldn't be good. I can do it now, though. I'm going to start with rook e1 just to try to discourage the move e5. My queen also helps with that. Yeah, the question is, what do I do with my knight? I think that's the question. Yeah, okay, let's drop the knight back. Let's reroute it to d3. Obviously, I have a passed c-pawn, but black is blockading it very, very well, which, you know, makes it a bit difficult to do anything with it. How to play with me. There's a challenge link below. I just blundered that pawn for no reason. Oh, I have no idea why I did that. That was really dumb, but okay. Let's try to recover. Let's try to recover. That was really stupid. I literally just didn't even realize the pawn was hanging. Although I was forked anyway, to be fair. Whoa. Okay. What? Why? Why would you be so kind? Okay. Not complaining. Not complaining. Let's kick the knight away. My opponent's playing really well, but he just gave me the exchange for no reason. He does have a passed d-pawn, but I mean, it's not very scary. Let's push this to c6. Let's go queen d3. Applying pressure to the knight. Knight back to b8 is probably... Okay, well, no, that's a free knight. I'm going to give a check first to try to force the king to h8, because then it's more vulnerable to checkmate. GG, that was a really solid game. Up until he gave me the exchange for no reason. Maybe he mouse slipped and was meaning rook c4, I would guess. But yeah, very, very strong play. I couldn't figure out... I feel like I was better at some point. And yeah, I definitely am better here. But I couldn't figure out what to... Like, how to continue. I mean, bishop f4 is okay. Knight c3 is apparently better. And after rook b8... Okay, then bishop f4. That makes sense. Alright, cool. If, yeah, I suppose, what does black actually do? Let's say queen c7. Rook b1, rook a b8. Bishop e3. Oh, I guess the bishop can go to e3. Okay, very good game. Very good game. Let's just catch up with the chat while you guys send in the challenges. Whoa, there's a lot of chat. All right. I want to know how to play the game. Can you be able to tell the sequence of moves? I mean, most of the players can't even tell the last 4 or 5 moves. Node, I don't know what you mean, sorry. Also play blindfold. Yeah, blindfold's very good for visualization. How to cure chess addiction. Bruv, get off chess for a bit. Like, well, after this stream, of course, but... Do you have any tips for the YouTube side? Trying to grow my channel. Curious how you did it. Literally just consistency. I mean, if you look at some of my old videos, they absolutely suck. Like, they're so bad. But I just kept doing it every day. I had a couple of breaks because I lost motivation, but basically just do it every single day, and you will improve slowly, slowly, slowly. But like I said, my old videos suck. I wasn't just good at speaking. Like, I just got better at it. Okay. How to play with you. Literally just challenge my username here, or there is a link down in the description of the live. Most of my games feel repetitive. Maybe any study new opening. Why is repetition bad necessarily? Do you find it boring? Or is it like you feel familiar with the positions, which is probably good? Is Jabova London better than a normal London? I have no idea. No idea. Blitz is kind of annoying. You have to balance intuition and calculation. Yeah, it's difficult. Been training visualization, been my hardest thing understanding. Really hard for me. Yeah, but that's how you're going to get better. That is how you're going to get better. I don't know how your video showed up in my feed on day 1. Your first video I recommended, that was it. What, my first ever video? Because that one was terrible, as I said. Okay, let's jump into the next game. Let's go professional couch. How can you be a professional couch? Love the fact you use the default board setup. Not a fan of the customized setups. I think the default is the best by far, to be honest. I think it's the best. I like the green. I mean, I feel like... It's weird. I like wooden chessboards, so I would like at least think that I like the brown ones, but I don't know. Okay, we have another A3 Sicilian, and my opponent plays the G6 line, which, as we mentioned at the start of the stream, is the best line, objectively. That couch does look quite professional. Let's have a look at the couch. Let's have a look. Let's see how professional it looks. Can you guys see this? Yes, you can. What do we rate this couch out of 10? That is a very nice green. That is a very nice green. So, yeah. I'm a big fan of that couch. Rated out of 10, though. Okay, D6. Let's go D3. You play the Italian. Yeah, I did used to find the Italian a bit repetitive, to be honest, which is why I stopped playing it myself years ago, and then I started learning new openings. 8 out of 10. Yeah, it's a solid couch. Solid couch. Yeah, Christopher, you played really, really well. Really well. You should be very proud of that game. I know you blundered at the end, but you should be really proud of that. That was really good. Okay, let's drop the bishop back to a2. As I said, I mean, e6 or a6, we can also do it, but I'm trying to figure out where this knight is going to go, because that changes what my plan is a little bit. How to deal with bishop b4 in Taimanov? I honestly couldn't tell you, because I don't play the Sicilian. Okay, if the knight goes to f6, typically f4 is better. h4, h5 makes less sense because the knight controls the h5 square. So with the knight on f6, it makes more sense to do it this way. Okay, e6, let's go knight to f3. Prepare to castle. And one of the big points about getting the bishop back to a2 is that d5 doesn't come with a tempo on the bishop, which allows us to play e5, which is kind of the whole point. Play the Italian like, even though it's repetitive, a lot of move order tricks. Yes, that's very true, Tanner. Very true. For instance, the Joko Piano main line, if black plays h6 in the wrong spot, you can get good initiative. Yes, also true. And a lot of people do just play h6 because it looks like a good move, right? Might make a lot of people mad, but honestly, anything below 10-0 rapid is just not chess in its purest form. To be fair, Viv, I would probably agree with you there. I mean, I prefer classical chess because, I mean, I feel like it's a better version of chess, you know? A123, and that's my name, so it's even cooler. I have no idea what you're on about. Yes, based, of course, based. Okay, I really like going for these knight to e2 ideas in this opening to play c3 and d4. If you've watched any of my videos in this opening, you've probably seen me execute this plan a lot of times because it's really good for just grabbing the center. You can just grab the center with this. And also, it somewhat fixes the problem of this bishop staring at nothing. Because if you get c3 and d4 in, you can often reroute the bishop via b1 back into the game on this diagonal. Like, for example, h4, h5 could come at some point. Like now, maybe. Although I think we'll start with d4. And, you know, then we could try and rip open this diagonal. Yeah, okay, c4. So we're basically going to do this. But first, we're going to set a few things up. So we're going to start with bishop e3. And then we're going to get the rook to c1. And then we're going to bring the bishop back to b1. Because I don't want the bishop trapping the rook in. But for real, though, only rapid is good for improvement. For improvement, yeah. Yeah, rapid is the way to go for improvement. Or, of course, classical, which is even better. A123. I know what based means. I know what based means. Christian, what are you on about, mate? F6. Eh? F6? Alright. Well, obviously we're not going to take. Because then black gets exactly what he wants, right? He gets to open up the position in the center. That's what he wants. But I'm not going to do that. Let's drop the bishop back, get it on this nice diagonal. Black could try and block it up with pawn to f5. But then he gives us the g5 square, which is quite nice. Okay, how are we going to continue? Well, let's go h4. The knight on h6 is a slight liability because it stops black from going h5. But since this pawn is on f6, you can't really go h5 anyway because it would weaken g6 massively. Yeah, we're going to drop the bishop back to f2. You can take if you want. I'm not too fussed. That's not a problem. Maybe queen d2 was better to guard the bishop, but this is fine. Okay, h5 anyway. Big move, big move. How are we going to deal with this? I feel like we should play for g4, to be honest. So let's first shift the king over. I want to play for g4 here. That's my plan. Okay, take. Let's keep things locked up. Now we gain access to g5, which is very nice. Now I can not even go for this plan. Now we can not even go for this plan. Viv, that is... very nice comment, Viv. Thank you. That's a good move. That's a very good move. My rook is a little bit misplaced. So I don't really have a choice there. Ooh, my opponent's playing well in time pressure here. How are we going to do this? Let's start with knight e to g1. I have a plan. Now we're going knight h3. And now... no, actually, we can't jump in yet. Oh, we need to defend this. Oh, that's not good. I completely missed this idea. Oh, no, we can go for this anyway. This comes with check. Okay, the king moves. Yeah, so here, I mean, obviously we can take on e6 with check and just fork everything. Although, to be fair, I didn't actually see that initially, so really well played from my opponent. Really well played. Yeah, my initial plan was if this pawn was left on f6, let's say black just does nothing, I was going to try and play g4. This was my idea. Okay, let me catch up with the chat while you guys get your challenges in. Very well played to my opponent, and that was a very professional looking couch. Okay. Blitz can be good for improvement too, maybe, but I think more so the analysis of Blitz games is good for improvement, not really the playing itself, right? Deserve more subs, like the stream, boys. Thank you, Jamal, and yeah, like the stream, lads. I think I might have started drama in the chat. I didn't even know. Don't worry about it. The chat is going to be dramatic no matter what, let's be real. Lance, how's it going, mate? Lance is a sick name, by the way. Don't think the blitz is good for improving your calculation or thinking process. Can help with instincts, openings, time management. Yes, true. True. Do you have analytics on where your audience lives? Curious if you're following skews British, American, etc. You're in Georgia. Well, hi, Josh. Yeah, I think the majority of the audience is American, and then it's British, and then it's Indian, and then I think there's like random European countries. I'm not insulting you Europeans. I'm just saying it's like a mix of like Spain and Germany and like some of the Scandinavian countries. I don't think there's many French people though. But yeah, although I can speak a bit of French. I don't know why so many people hate the London. Fun opening, perfectly able to get play aggressive chess. Yeah, very true, Rotten Mouse. Thoughts on the French? I just hate the French bishop, to be honest. I hate it. Okay. Tanner's in the States. With the name Tanner, I could probably guess that, to be fair. Tanner, I'm not hating on the name Tanner, don't get me wrong. But I think I could probably guess that. Okay. Wolf, I don't know. Let's go. Of course, we can pre-move c6. What are your thoughts on British food slander? I think that they've never been in a proper British pub and had proper British pub food. I think that's that's the reality of it. Okay, we've got a Panov attack. The Panov is really scary opening to face as the black pieces, and this is the line that I recommend against it, this g6 line. And the whole point is that we're trying to add pressure to d4, because d4 can become quite weak. It's okay, you can hate on it, heard it all before. Yeah, I think we Brits and Americans, you know, definitely get a lot of hate for our countries and maybe the food in them, but like, yeah, whatever. It is what it is. What's British food? No offense. I like fish and chips, jacket potatoes, beans on toast, all that kind of thing, right? Thanks for the instructive game. I shouldn't have pushed the C pawn. Yeah, that kind of relieved a lot of pressure, but you still played incredibly well. Incredibly well, so GG. Okay, bishop e3 is a bit passive, but it does the job. Oh, what's the idea? I'm sure I've seen this type of position before. I know I have. I'm going to start with bishop g4. And after h3, I think I should take... Oh no, is the bishop better on e6? I actually don't know. I don't think I'm supposed to be playing for e5. Maybe queen b6. It was a good idea, but whatever. We've committed. Viv, okay, yeah, I will actually. I will. Can you explain to me what the allure is of beans on toast? Never understood that. Well, firstly, you've got to include cheddar cheese on it as well. You've got to have cheese on it too. I mean, beans on toast by itself is great, but it's way better with cheese. Viv, seen this position before. How can I play with you? You can challenge me, mate. My username is here. I don't know how to explain it. Beans on toast with cheese is so good. It's like you just wouldn't get it. You're American, you wouldn't get it. No, I'm joking. I'm not going to use people's own tricks against you. But yeah, I don't know. Like, It is a solid dish. It looks really dumb. I admit it looks really dumb, but it's class. And now we are seeing the idea of this opening, right? As I said, the whole idea is to add a ton of pressure to the d4 pawn. And that's what we're doing. That's what we are doing. So, okay, we're going to hit the bishop, of course. That's the whole point of this move. 10 out of 10 cheese. Absolutely. And one of the good things is that if we ever take on d4, we don't have to worry too much about pins on the queen, because the queen will be hanging, which is very useful. However, we do have to be a bit careful about the b7 pawn. Whoa, that's a big move, but I think it loses. So I guess the point is if take, then take. But the problem is that I have this move, and your queen is hit, and the bishop is hit twice. So every culture has some quirky food combination that the locals love. Yeah, you're probably right there, Derek. You're probably right. Also, I think I saw someone say they were from Belgium before as well. Yeah, Robin van Lee. No, Robin van Lille. Yeah, it's a very very Belgian kind of name, isn't it? Or it's more so Dutch actually with the van, but still, I mean, I don't know. I want to be honest. I've never really understood Belgium as a country in terms of like why it's a country. This isn't me trying to be offensive or anything. But it's like Belgium. Also, that was a queen fork. Can I add? Can I add that was a queen fork with the move knight to e5, and we did win the queen. So just saying. Let's do this. I should have probably done that the move before, to be fair, to pick up the bishop, because of course trading down is a good idea because we are up material. Yeah, I've never understood Belgium as a country, because it's like, is there much of a historical reason in terms of like a Belgian group of people? I know there was like I want to say like a Flemish independence type thing that went on a very long time ago. But bro just said, why do you exist to 12 million people? No, I'm not saying why do you exist, but it's like, what's the historical precedent is basically my question, because I'm genuinely interested. Like, as somebody who studies history, I'm genuinely interested because I don't understand it. And I'm sure there's a very good reason. I'm sure there is, because otherwise it wouldn't be a country, right? But I just don't know what the reason is. That's all. No, Derek, I'm not questioning why 12 million people exist. At all. At all. Never. Oh, no, I have actually been to Belgium. What am I on about? My hometown is actually twinned to a town in Belgium. And me and my family went there. And it's really cool. It was a really cool place. We've also been to Brussels, which was also very cool. And obviously had to get the chocolate, which was unreal. Which, I mean, you kind of expect, wouldn't you? Okay, let's just trade as many pieces as humanly possible, because, yeah, my opponent can try and promote a pawn or something, but it's just not going to happen. Not going to happen. Let's go queen to a4, which is actually a really cool move. Pressure on the rook, pressure on the pawn, taking away bishop c6. Let's take. Okay, let's give a check. No, I'm just going to push the queenside pawns. I'm actually going to force him to give up his bishop, or the pawn, or the bishop like this. I would be very careful not to stalemate, though. I actually, like, almost stalemated there. But okay, that is checkmate. GG Wolf, very interesting game, and hopefully give some of you Caro players who struggle against the Panov a bit of a weapon. Let's get the challenges in, and I will catch up on the chat. Do you have Toad in the Hole, or is it at further north? My dad is from Yorkshire, which is further north, and Toad in the Hole is great. Really good. Basically because it's in Europe, mate. Nah, but Viv, like, in Europe, I mean, it's not like countries were just made from nothing, as they might have been in places like Africa, right? Which, like, lines are just drawn on a map, ignoring ethnic and religious differences, right? Whereas in Europe, it's a bit different, because the Europeans were drawing the lines in Europe. You get what I mean? So they'd understand the local reasons for being separate and ethnicities and religious differences better. So I don't think it's quite that simple. What's your chess style? Like a bit more positional or attacking? I've always considered my chess style like a positional aggression, which I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of how I've always thought of it. Not super clear that fork would win a piece because the knights might have been funny at the end of the line. I think it does, because what Vita Hast is referring to is this position. After something like this and this, maybe there's f4. Maybe this is what he means because the knights are funny, right? If this knight moves, this knight falls. That's interesting, actually. How would you deal with this? How would you deal with this? This might be an interesting type, like, puzzle kind of position. Of course, black is up a knight, but the knights are very awkward, as Vita Hast is saying. How do you deal with this? I assume f4 would be the best way to ask the question. Or, I mean, maybe even, to be fair, if I go back a move, maybe even bishop to d4 would be a good way to ask the question. I mean, taking is no good. This doesn't... No, this is the move? Then what? We're not taking the bishop, are we? No. Okay. This... Oh, right. We destabilize this knight. And if queen c2... What? Do we go rook c8? Ah, okay. And if take, then take. Although that's not super clear, in fairness. Not super clear. I mean, like, maybe... Oh, no, the bishop can't really get there because the pawn's in the way. But interesting nonetheless. Okay. Sorry about that. Vita Hast just made a great point, so I wanted to explore it a little bit. Viv, that is a very fair point. Your opinion on the French attack? The French attack? Ah, I couldn't tell you, mate. Your opinion... The French attack. I don't know what the French attack is. I don't know. Sharp. Everyone, please stop begging for me to accept the challenge. I've got so many challenges right now, like, which is great, but I can only accept one of them, and I'm going to accept Viv because I talk to Viv like every day. Very sound guy. Okay, and we always play the Panov. We always play this. What has Viv got cooking up this time? Yeah, bishop b4. He's been learning this. He's been actually studying this because we play this line a lot. I know he has. Can I remember what to do? I think c5. I think c5. Okay, castles. Let's go. Oh, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Let's go bishop d3. Let's just get ourselves castled. Yes, okay. That's fine. That's fine. You can't do this because this comes with tempo. So you don't have time for this. h6. Yes, okay. That makes sense. Sure. Let's go bishop f4 then. Take. He seems really well booked up. Okay. Queen a5. Do we go c4? I don't think so. Let's go queen b3. There's no knight to a5 because the queen's in the way. Interesting. Let's do this so that our bishop defends the pawn. We have the only dark squared bishop, which is very nice. By the way, Viv is not a 600 rated player. Let's be clear. He's not a 600 rated player. Okay, rook to d8. Well, that's not a problem. I'm tempted to play a4. Although I'm actually not sure what that does. So I'll play rook a to b1 instead. Play rook a to b1. And maybe we're in some position going to take. I mean, obviously our bishop would hang right now. But in some position. It's very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, Viv is playing a very nice line here. Alright. Okay, bishop to a6. I think I'm supposed to take this in a lot of these lines. And okay, we lose the bishop pair, but that should be fine. Let's go rook f to e1. Just clamping down on e5 another time. Okay, let's take. That's cool. Let's go queen a3, offer a queen trade. Maybe c3 is a bit weak at the end of the line, though. But, I don't know, maybe I should have gone queen back to c2, but that felt passive. Alright, alright. Well, that's a strong move. That's a good move, that. Don't like to see that at all. I might have to do this, which I hate the look of, but I don't see anything better to defend the pawn. Okay, well, let's take the 5 square, now that I have the opportunity. Also, there's no rook to b2, because I control that square. Here, if this, then this. If here, rook take, pawn take, if take, then take. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fine. Very interesting. Of course, if the knight moves, then I have this. That's the idea. And let me reiterate, Viv is not a 600 rated player. He's a good chess player. And we play these Panov lines against each other quite often, which helps us both, really. Yeah, oh, whoa, what is my computer doing? Bruv, please. Please. Yeah, but then I get this, and I'm not really sure. Yeah, he just blundered that. Okay. As I said, taking... no, sorry. Taking doesn't really make sense, because, like, after takes, the pieces are hanging. Okay, takes like this. I'm actually going to take with the B pawn. No, sorry, the C pawn, because the C pawn was quite weak here. Let's push, I think. Yeah, let's push. Obviously, A7 was under attack, so he also defended that. And then I can get in, like, A4s. Okay, let's take that. That's fine. Let's take that. Now, let's take this. And take this. And bring the knight to E3. Just defend. Get my king some safety. Push the pawn. Try and get it out of danger. Rook to b4. No, he doesn't go for that. Okay. Let's go rook to c1 then. Doing this. I want to bring the king up here. And you can see this knight is a great piece, just holding everything together. I want to pawn there. Bring the king up. Obviously, this should be on your mind. So we're going to set that up. Yeah, and now the king steps away from e4. Let's go bring the knight in. How do we do this? I want my knight to defend the pawn, right? So let's do this. There's some interesting tricks here. Okay, yeah, good move, good move. Get the rook out of the line of fire. Okay, now I get to bring the knight to c4 because this isn't hanging. Bring my knight back. I think what I need to do is get the rook over here and then bring the king into the game. I need to get my king a bit more active. King activity in the endgame makes things a lot easier. Give a check. Now with my king active, the knight is defended. Let's give a check, force the king back. And now I get this setup that I wanted with my knight defending the pawn, although there is this. Okay, let's swing over here, apply pressure to this pawn. Protect the knight, hit the rook. And now I'm going to do this. And the idea is this rook has no way out, so he has to trade, and then the game is over. Okay. Okay. Very nice. GG. That was a really interesting game there. Viv played very well. As I said, Viv is a very good player. Yeah, let's just push this pawn. Bring the king. Push the pawn. And then I'm just going to show you how to checkmate very, very easily. Just chase down king. Not going to lie, I actually did that wrong. Oh my god. Okay, and now no matter where the king goes, we have mate in 1. So yeah. GG. Alright, alright. Very cool. Yeah, this dude really does want to know about the French attack, but I have no idea what he's on about. Are you in, like, high school or college or university? I'm basically almost done with university. I study history, and I'm almost done with it. I wrote my dissertation about chess, actually. About chess. So that was pretty fun. Didn't know what to play against you. Your openings are annoying. That's Wolf, one of our previous opponents. Yeah, that's why I play them. Love how the engine has a solution. Of course it does. Of course it does. I think he's referring to chess vibes, learning a new French system. I don't know what that... But isn't it the French defense, though? My nerd girlfriend says Belgium is part of the Netherlands that was Catholic, had a revolution. Yeah, so the thing I was on about with the Flemish is they had an independence movement, which was fueled by religion. I didn't know that they were Catholic, although I guess it makes sense that the Dutch were Protestant, considering the British gave them a lot of support in the 1500s and 1600s against the Holy Roman Empire. I love that period of history. But okay, Sarah Louise, that is actually very interesting. So thank you, thank you. Sonic the Hedgehog, how's it going? I swear there was a piece hanging somewhere. Maybe? Maybe? Whoa, there's a lot of chats. A viewer arena would be nice. I have no idea how to set that up. Do I have to do that on Lichess? It's still the French defense, just an aggressive sideline. Oh, okay, that makes sense. How to improve your blitz? It's not often that people have a really high rapid and a low blitz. What does the chat think as to Harsh's question? Did your dissertation explore the esoteric/occult origins of chess? No, no, it didn't. It talked about the public perceptions of chess in the 20th century in the United States, which obviously had a lot to do with Bobby Fischer. So that was really, really interesting. Really enjoyed that. Okay. Another Sicilian. A lot of you are playing Sicilian defenses, which shame on you all. I'm joking, realistically. But yeah, the Caro is just better. Caro's just better. Okay, we have this line. Which is kind of a weird version of the Scandinavian, because normally it's just a Scandinavian, but with pawns on a3 and c5, right? Let's go knight f3. What's my best over-the-board win? I think I beat like a 2250 in about, I don't know, 15 or 20 moves, which was in a Vienna, actually. So that's probably my best over-the-board win. And yeah, kind of the issue with this version... Are we back? Are we back? Hello. Are we still here? I don't know. I think we're back. That's really frustrating. Yeah, okay, we are. I will rematch my opponent because obviously I disconnected, which was very sad. But yeah, okay. Hopefully I'm back now. Can you guys confirm? Yes, okay, cool. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, that was very annoying. But okay, let's actually have a game now. And I get the Caro, so that's great. I don't recommend taking here and going for the end game. I think that it's very dull and very just not fun. And this seems to be one of the main lines against bishop g4, which is the move I like. I think some people like to go g4, but I don't think it's all that good, to be honest. Yeah, I think my Wi-Fi is bugging out. If it continues being really bad, I'll just have to end the stream, but hopefully it stays up. Okay. Let's go pawn e6. Just get the very nice center. Viv, will I review the game we had later? I don't know, to be honest, mate. What's my FIDE ID? My FIDE is like insanely out of date because the majority of games in England are not FIDE rated, and they're mostly ECF rated, which is the English Chess Federation. So my FIDE is like 1700, which is just obviously not true. Okay, yeah, so we've kind of transposed this into a pretty good version of the Caro Kann, of like a normal Caro Kann, right? So that's great. Also, yeah, sorry about the disconnection there. Okay, bishop e3. That's a move. Well, queen b6 looks very natural, just applying some more pressure. I mean, we're not threatening anything. Maybe bishop e7 was better, but I think this can't be a bad move. Roy Lowry, love your channel. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, knight a3. Yeah, the knight just can't really do a whole lot. I think I might throw in the move a6 just to stop it from invading at all. And I mean, it doesn't really have many squares. I mean, it could go back to c2 to support d4, to be fair. Also, we do have ideas of going h5, which I probably will play on the next move, because we haven't committed our king just yet. So if we go h5 and white takes, then, like, great. We get this, we get this. That's very interesting. Black Dawn. Mate, come on. Let's not be making threats in the chat, please. Yeah, Sonic, you tell him, mate. You tell him. 1700 FIDE is good, no? It is, but I'm more like 2000 rated over the board. I mean, classical chess is my best time format as well. How to ban someone? Mate, I actually don't know. Do I know how to do it? I might be able to figure it out. Okay, now we force the pawn forward, so now we could castle, but maybe this is annoying. I don't know. I think he should be okay, though. I think he should be okay. Let me see if I can ban him. Oh, I can time him out. Can I? Yeah, I can put him in timeout. Awesome. Lol. Unlucky. Maybe, don't say that. Yeah, so obviously he's kind of threatening to do this, but I don't think I care that much, to be honest. Queen d8 looks strong going after this. What's my FIDE rating? Dude, I literally just said that. 1700, which is not accurate at all. Bosh. I actually just thought that I completely missed it for ages, but I also realized that if I take... Oh, no. Oh, my God. I just missed the easiest tactic of my life for, like... What? How many moves in a row? Oh, so many moves in a row. Dude. I actually suck at chess. Not even funny. Maybe I should be 1700 FIDE. Oh, okay. We get away with it, though. We get away with it, though. Oh, Christ. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue like nothing happened. Am I going to do more Jabava videos? Maybe. I'm not 100% sure, to be fair. To be fair, I missed that idea from White. That's quite creative. Also, this is on the way, and that's actually quite scary. Huh. Why does White actually have an attack? What's my full name? It's Alexander Iskauskas. Am I... Yo, I didn't even consider this move. Am I good? Knight takes. Oh, I think I have rook f5. I think that's my saving grace. Yeah. Queen h8, king f7. White can't break through. I think I'm good there. I block this out. And obviously I'm hitting the queen. And the queen actually doesn't have many good squares. Also, I potentially... Oh, okay. We're back. We're back. I hope the stream's back. Yeah, this is not good. This lag is not great. But yeah, kind of the issue for white here is that he has to trade queens now. And this is hanging, and this is hanging, and this is hanging. Yeah, sorry guys. This not great. Okay, let's nab this. Stream is back. Yes, great. Cool. Let's take. And I'm just trying to trade off now. So how do I want to do this? I actually love the move knight to f8. I know this looks really dumb, but then I get to go e6, which blocks the pawn. Knights make the best blockaders of pawns. They just do. And also, this is incredibly weak, so we can take. And we're also threatening this. Did I play good versus you, though? Yeah, Viv, you played incredibly well. Incredibly well. Black Sheep, how's it going, mate? Good to see you. I really hope that the internet can hold up, because I'm really enjoying the stream, but it just keeps messing up really badly. I think it's okay. I think. I don't know. I hope. Okay. Okay, GG Harsh Chess. Very, very good game. You made some really good counterplay there. Okay, let's play Kartik. How's it going, Black Sheep? Okay, let's go for a Vienna. Bishop c4. Very nice. Very normal. d6 is a little bit passive, but it's definitely playable. It just, you know, this bishop can't get out. I think my Wi-Fi is having a stroke. Mate, I would not disagree with you. a6 is an odd move. Very odd. Because, I mean, b5 doesn't really do anything. Where am I from? I am from England. Sound keeps cutting out. Oh, really? It looks fine on my end. Let me just check. No, I think the sound's okay, AK. I think the sound's fine. It sounds fine on my phone, which is how I'm keeping up with the chat, by the way. Okay, cool. Thank you for confirming, everybody. Thank you. I think that might be on your end, AK. Okay, alright. Let's see. Can my internet hold up? And can my chess hold up? Okay, yeah, this doesn't really do anything. I'm just going to go g3 and kick the bishop back. I could take it, but I'd actually rather keep my knight on the board. I'm going to play this move f5 to block this bishop from developing, because, I mean, you know, this could maybe be quite annoying, so I'd like to get rid of the bishop ASAP. As in, don't let it out. And how do I want to do this? Knight here castles. I can't really see a way through. I'm going to go a4 to begin with, to stop this, and also if knight a5, my bishop has an escape square. That's my plan. Is it really bugging out that bad? Oh, it is. We have to finish after this game, aren't we? Yeah, okay. Very sorry, everybody. I have no idea why it's this bad. We'll finish after this game. Yeah. Okay. Let's get the rest of this game in. All right. Knight b4. That's definitely a move. Not sure what it does, but it's a move. Let's go bishop g5. Let's just get the bishop out. And there's no attack. No, I have this. That's okay. Also, this would come with an attack on the queen, but there's like maybe this with an attack on my queen. I don't know. Yeah, I'll finish this game and then we will we'll end the stream. But sorry about that, guys. I don't know why it's so bad. c6. Okay, trying to play this. Definitely an idea. Let's drop the bishop back so that if our bishop doesn't get hit, and we could do this instead if we want. Instead of taking, I mean. Stream more. Viv, I will. I will. I've just been so busy with work. But work is going very, very well. So that's the bright side. Okay. Now, how are we going to attack my opponent and have a nice end to the stream? I don't know, but hopefully my internet doesn't keep messing everything up. That would be great. How do I want to do this? Alexa, stop. Start with queen d2. Just give this bishop some support. Maybe I'm going to castle queenside, but of course b5 looks very scary. Okay, let's drop the bishop back, hit the queen. What do you do for work? Alexa, stop. Do you accept challenges against 2,000 plus rated players in these kinds of streams? Yeah, there's just not that many 2,000 plus rated players, to be fair. Okay, now I want to do this. We're going to try to form an attack on the king side. Okay, yes. Now I can't take. I guess that's the point. And then also this is a threat. Alright. Let's drop the bishop back. Yeah, I don't mind you coming forward like this. I don't mind that. No, Viv, I think it's actually my brother messing with me, which is really annoying. And I'm going to give him an earful after I end the stream. So, you guys won't get to see that, but I guarantee it will be eventful. we don't need the exorcists. It'll be alright. No, the knight isn't trapped. It can come back. I was thinking c3 and maybe I can trap the knight, but no. Okay, let's push. Now, of course, now the center is very locked, which makes me very happy to start my kingside attack. And my king is obviously in the center of the board, but how is black getting to it since he's locked up the center? It doesn't seem clear. Let's push. The queen on b6, I also am not really sure what it's doing. Okay. That's very valid, yeah. Let's go h4 to support. My knight is doing a good job at stopping this knight's movement. At least you're having fun with your brother. Yeah, but I don't know if I'd call it fun. Yeah, this is definitely sort of like a King's Indian, except my bishop is on b3 for some reason. Normally it'd be on g2. But, okay. Yeah, maybe my opponent's going queenside. That might be his plan. So, I'm going to go rook b1. And I'm going to go c3. Actually, I didn't need rook b1. Oh, no, because it supports b4, yeah. Whoa. Why didn't he retreat this? Okay, thank you. And you'll notice I'm still... Oh my god, I just blundered that. I do have this, though, which is an awesome move. The queen is hanging, but so is mine. But now the bishop and the queen are hanging. So bishop c5 looks like the only move. What is going on? What is going on? Okay. Do I go d4? No, because then I'm walking to this again. Let's do this. I'm expecting all the trades. Rook b1, rook b1. Yeah, indeed, indeed. Whoa, really? Okay, let's go rook b6. My threat was this if you go to a7. I'm actually going to castle just to double up. I know it's very... Oh, wait, let's not blunder. Let's not blunder this. Whoa. Okay. Wait, what's this? Okay, let's win the queen. Check. 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 I think I want to go d4. This is a crazy looking position. now I get this. That's actually checkmate. Okay, awesome. All right, that is the last game because yeah, the internet is bugging really badly. Oh my god, and so is my voice by the sounds of it. The internet is bugging really badly, so I'm gonna go now. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and yeah, check out my other videos because they're really good. They're really good. So have a good one, guys, and I will see you, I don't know, elsewhere on my channel because check out the other videos.